Right over the top of the old garage tonight is, well, we got the lady next door calling for her dog Bonnie. That's a sweet little dog. A full moon. That little dog Bonnie, she's a boxer. She'll come running over to the yard when she sees me. I'll scratch her back for her and pet her a couple times, and then she'll run home. She just runs over to get that back scratch. I told you all that on many times I've mentioned that I will not be doing radio repair. However, I did say that if anything came along that was kind of an oddball thing, that I would bring it up and let you see it, because you know, you may not see it again. I don't know, some of these things are pretty strange. This is the sensitivity meter from my Hallicrafters SX43, and this little baby here fits over the top of that right there like that. Okay, showing this the meter through. Now this thing here has a zero adjust screw right here. It just, when you go back and forth, it simply moves this little set of fingers right here. Let me get a little bit closer here. This little set of fingers goes back, will move back and forth because there's a little thing that goes down in the middle. When you turn the screw, it makes it go back and forth, which gives me a nice zero on the meter needle. Now that thing I'm talking about that does the adjustment is this baby right here. It's got a little tab on the end, or a little thing that sticks out. You'll notice that it's off-centered from the center. So therefore, when you stick it down in between those two things right there, and then you just turn it left and right with the screw driver, then it moves this left and right. And not a whole lot, you know, enough to just bring that thing into zero, or wherever it may be. A lot of them are always over here on the left. I'm surprised that this one's way over here. But anyway, what happened was the one on this meter had been completely, you know, you do your adjustment from the front with a small screwdriver, but the slot that you put the screwdriver in on this meter, on that screw, was completely destroyed. It was flat. It had been forced so many times to move this thing right here, which moves very easily. So the question is, well, why was it so hard to move? I don't understand it. I've never seen them that difficult. They usually just turn very easy. Well, here's the reason why. This thing right here goes over the end of this right here. This thing right here goes down through the hole like so. Now that thing right there goes down through, and it's held in on the opposite side by this thing right here. It slips over the shaft. And when you turn the screw, this also turns with it, because you don't want it jammed up against the back of the plastic so tight that it keeps the screw from turning. You just want this thing to hold it in, but at the same time it has to be far enough to where it does not hit against this plastic right here. So let's turn it around and see what we had. Push this out of the way. And what we had here was this keeper. Where did she go? Okay, there we go. Bear with me here a minute, I'll get it. This little metal keeper, as I said, goes around and round with the screw shaft. And as you can see, this piece of plastic right here on the back of the meter is not centered. The hole is not centered in that meter housing. So what was happening was that black metal keeper was hitting against this side of the plastic. As long as it was over in this area here, you're okay. But when it's not perfectly square and it's not perfectly round. It's got two flat sides to it. But when the flat sides were cleared and it was this way with the flat side left and right, then you know they would work okay. But when you moved it on around a little bit further, the round part would hit against this plastic. And that's when they had to force the issue with the screwdriver in that little plastic screw slot. And that's what stripped out that slot. Now what I've done is I built up a nice big mound of JB Weld on the top of it and cut another slot using my moto tool, or my rotary tool, with that real thin cutting wheel. The kind of those little wheels that break easy, you know. I just cut a little slot, let it dry overnight till it was nice and hard, then just cut a slot. And the best part about doing it like this is if it ever breaks off again, we can just go ahead and grind it down, put another mound of JB Weld. Now, of course, I'm going to put a little bit of grease down in here. I want that thing to turn really easy in that hole. I want it to adjust it really nice and easy. I don't want that thing to catch on anything. And then we're going to take this little moto tool of mine again, and I've got a burr, this one right here. I got a really sharp burr, and I'm going to go down in there, and I'm going to grind away this side of that clear plastic to where that black thing will clear all the way. See, it's nice and far away over here, but it's too close over here. I'm going to grind that out without going through the black part of the plastic, of course. I'm just going to grind it out, take my time, until I got nice clearance there. Let's see how well I can do with that. I think that'll do it. Let's go ahead and put the shaft in and put the keeper on and see if it'll turn around and around. There's the little keeper holding the shaft in. Let's turn it around and see if she'll turn without any problems now. I think I got the keeper on down the shaft far. Look at that. Smooth as silk. I put just a touch of this silicone grease right here on the shaft. Ever so tiny bit to help it, move a little bit better in the hole. I think that's going to solve a problem. Now let's get it together. Make sure I've got that keeper far enough down the shaft that it doesn't interfere with these two little legs either. Now that point on the end of that shaft, you can see it sticking up, it needs to be, I can get it focused in here. Let me focus in a little better. That point right there needs to be straight up and down so it engages these two little jobbies right here. I think that's just about got it. This, we'll go ahead and put our screwdriver in here. Now watch that needle on the right. If I screw this thing to the right, see how the needle goes up? And screw it back down, the needle comes back down. That's the way it's supposed to work. I wasn't doing any of that before because the screw slot here was completely reamed out. And the needle was stuck somewhere up in this area here. It just wouldn't move. Anyway, we're good to go on that. This clear plastic is awfully blurry. Over the years, people have really blurred it up, but it really doesn't matter to me. It's as long as I've got a decent signal strength, that's all I care about. And even if I don't, I can easily bypass this thing. I don't really want to, of course. Today is the 9th of February. It is Wifey's birthday. Say hello, Wifey. No, you're supposed to say hello.
Hello.
Okay. And we got some family members here who are going to help her celebrate. We got Cadence and John and Tanya and me and Grandma. How old are you today?
Good morning.
21.
Are you 29?
Yes, I want to get into my cake.
She wants to get into her cake? Okay. Go ahead. You going to be able to blow them out, you think?
Yes.
You can take several breaths to blow it out.
All right.
Happy birthday to you.
Cha cha cha.
Happy birthday to you.
Cha cha cha.
Happy birthday, dear Ernie.
Mom and wife.
Happy birthday to you.
Cha cha cha.
And many more.
Go, Grandma, go.
Keep going. Take your time. Take your time. Get a little closer.
You got this. Good thing you didn't have 70 of them.
There you
That's
go.
good practice. It's good training.
Would you like a plate to fan them out?
It's
hard, I know. One more. All right, she did it.
That's a workout. All right, so.
Are you worn out, baby?
What's that? You're 70 years old. What advice do you have for everybody?
Yes, give us some words of wisdom here.
Don't smoke.
Don't smoke. That's right. That's very good.
Good piece of advice.
Good advice. All right, now we're going to dig in and have a little bit with some ice cream. I got ice cream. Anybody want ice cream?
Me.
And whom might you be?
I will. She can hear you.
Love you, boy.
Are you an ice cream lover?
Yeah.
Okay, we'll get you some ice cream.
Yay!
What we have is Tanya's husband James, our oldest grandson on the phone. He's at work right now, right?
Yeah.
He's at work at Little Rock Air Force Base guarding our country, so he can't be here today. But he is here on the phone.
No, he's not.
Hey, he's not. Is he gone?
No, he's on there.
Okay. Is he on FaceTime?
Turn on your FaceTime.
Is he doing a FaceTime? Oh, there he is right there. Are you taking care of all those aircraft out there, boy?
Single-handedly.
Single-handedly. You're the main man, right?
100%.
All right.
Without me, you guys would probably all be slaves.
If I can get your wife to hold her phone still, I'm getting dizzy here. All right. We'll see you next time you come over, okay?
Okay.
Guard the country, boy.
Guard.
Oh, I don't know how long it's been, a couple of years at least, since I showed you a picture of what I always call the Four Musketeers. This is our youngest grandson, John, and his 3 lifelong friends. They hung around like glue together in school. Anywhere, you know, the summer times, everywhere. They would go together, they would sleep over at each other's house. It was one big fun time for these young men. Well, let me give you an update now. Keep in mind, this was 2 or 3 years ago, I guess. Let me give you an update of what's been going on. You pretty much know what's been going on with our youngest grandson, John. He's now a University of Central Arkansas student. At the end of this current semester, he'll be a sophomore. And he does teach karate on the side. He's a karate instructor. And his name is John, for those of you who don't know. Can't remember if I mentioned that or not. And over here we have Zach. Now Zach is now a United States Marine. He finished boot camp a while back, and he went to A school, and I think he's fixing to be stationed in Mississippi. This is Hunter. As I speak right now, Hunter is in United States Navy boot camp up in Great Lakes, Illinois, just outside of Chicago. And he's doing real well. We found out, we got 1 letter from him so far, the family did. And he said, it's tough. He said, but he's making it. He graduates on, I believe it's March 13th. Nathaniel, he goes to the University of Central Arkansas also. He and John are buddies again, now at the same college. And they both joined the Sigma Phi Epsilon fraternity. So these 4 young men have turned out to be very big success stories. We're proud of every single one of them. Today is Wednesday the 12th, and we got our buddy Tom back here again, and look what he's done. He is tearing apart my radios now so he can try to fix a signal tracer of his that he bought somewhere. A piece of junk. Well, he's
killed it. I ruined your radio.
He's killed my radio. He's ruined it. Oh my God, the man is a beast. He won't leave me alone. He's just Mr. El Destructo. Come on, get it to work. What's the hold up here?
Well, we got this telephone switchboard we're trying to work with. See, now it's not getting anything again.
I don't understand it. You've ruined it completely, haven't you?
Now, back to what we were originally doing.
You know, Tom got lucky here. He got my radio functioning again. I thought he was, you know, that's a very expensive radio, Tom. That would have cost you about maybe $3,500 for that one.
Oh, no.
I'm glad you got it working again, even though everything is gator wired together.
What are you
Now,
talking about?
ask me, has Tom come a long way? He knows how to gator wire things together and make them work.
We can't breathe or this will quit working.
I'll tell you, I love it when a student, he has no confidence in himself, yet he's doing it. Our good buddy Tom is over there begging for forgiveness and for me not to tell you about what he just did, but I'm sorry. We must show you the good with the bad, right, Tom?
No comment this time.
Look at what he did to a family heirloom. Look at that.
And that was my final example.
You know, this was, I say it's a family heirloom because this thing came over on a ship with my great-great-grandparents from Germany. It was worth many thousands of dollars, and look what he did to it. Do you feel ashamed?
No, but
No, but
I guess I'm being sent home.
yes, you're being sent home. And if he ruined the radio, my $3,500 Zenith radio, he's going to have to get a bank loan or cough up his house. I don't care which. A little bit of an update on Wifey's birthday. Our son bought her an LG 65-inch A1 thin Q OLED TV. He got the wall mount and the 31-inch soundbar with it. So it just came in a little while ago by UPS. I'm not going to take it out until our grandson James comes over tomorrow. I've already called him up and asked if he can help me with it. That box that came in, that thing weighed over 100 pounds. Ooh, it's a good thing I'm a brute. We're looking forward to getting that out. It's a two-man process, really, to get this thing out properly. You don't want to flex the screen. You don't want to squeeze the screen. You don't want to do anything that'll ruin it. Because this thing is one of those really thin TVs, you know, with no edge. Well, unfortunately, or fortunately, I guess, depending on your point of view, it's done nothing but rain, rain, rain all winter long. And again, we've got day after day of it. Our yard is like a swamp. And as you can see, the other side over here is also just nothing but mud. Unbelievable. The last video I put up, by the way, the Mish-Mash video where I told everyone about the things that annoy me, that seemed to be a pretty popular little video, much more than I ever expected. And a lot of you identified with it and came up with a few things that annoy you, which are actually on my list. I just didn't cover everything in the first video. I mean, I've got tons of little annoyances that I go through every month, just like you, just like everybody else. And we'll be covering them from time to time. You know, you always say, well, you didn't cover this, you didn't cover that. Well, of course not. I mean, I'd be here all day on one video. So we'll be doing more of those. Mr. Mac 5150, I always call him Brother Mac. He put in his order for 10 more. You know, believe it or not, I could probably come up with 10 more. And the temperatures have been pretty cold, though. The temperature been around mid-40s, you know, which is like a nor'easter to me. Anyway, meanwhile, we will get a chance to. Been too cold to work on in the garage on the Thunderbird, but next time we're going to do a T-Bird video. I have some parts that came in, and I also decided to pick up a little fire extinguisher we're going to eventually mount on the wall here somewhere. So next time, like I said, it'll be a T-Bird. Until then, this is John.